What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Paul, and in this video we're going to talk about how you can grow your sales through identifying low-hanging fruits in the search keyword performance report that then you can strategically target in single keyword campaigns or multi-keyword campaigns. We're going to talk about the pros and cons in a second, so let's dive right into it because time is of the essence. So I'm not a seller myself, but I have over 6 years of experience as a full-time contractor, independent contractor, and operator in accounts. Obviously that is not my money that I'm spending, but I have a proven track record of lowering TARCOS and growing sales. For example, when I was a white label service provider for age management, we grew, not just me, obviously. PPC is just the last piece of the puzzle. Obviously, PPC is way easier if you have an excellent product. But we successfully grew, brands, accounts, for example, from Basic Research, which is a $60 million company, which is public information. If you're skeptic, just Google it. From 600K to over $1 million a month while we lower TARCOS. That's the truth. I invite you to either text the company, text me on LinkedIn, so I provide point of contacts. I'm saying that because a lot of people might be lying, and I want to proactively differentiate myself from people who are lying about their, case studies, so you can verify that I'm speaking the truth, because I'm always speaking the truth. That's just important for me. Obviously, we also have more case studies, but another one is, for example, for when I was working for Celix, we achieved an additional 48K. In Germany, you always say 48 and 84 backwards. But long story short, we generated 148K in 64 days at an ACOS of 4.12%. I don't know the total sales numbers because some clients don't want you to know that. But another one, this is from a company that I'm working with right now. We are growing, sales 30% year over year. This month to date, while TARCOS is up 3.85%, and more importantly, the profitability is up because, as you can see, here's the profitability for last year, and this is obviously for this year. So I'm just saying this because it's just interesting to see that, for example, in week 1 we had a lower revenue but more profit to prove to you that the tactics we're going to talk about in this video are working. So let's dive right into it. So let's look at the search keyword performance data. I like to use Scale Insights, but you can use any tool that you want. That's just my favorite tool. I believe it's the best PPC tool on the market, pure PPC tool right now. So let's dive right into the keyword tracking. So obviously we get the following metrics. I talked about this in my last video, but we should always repeat the fundamentals. Cluster our keywords into the following quadrants. First, I would look at everything, obviously, where we have a conversion delta that is better than the market. Apply the filter. So next, I would obviously identify keywords where we have, generated sales already. So the criteria or the rules, the logical rules, and then I would select, my target ACOS. But for example, if we go back to the keyword tracking, then I would also clearly look at, obviously, what's my TARCOS for the product, because this is the, global, the global level at the end of the day is the account, but the relationship between ASIN to keyword, the global level here in this relationship, in this dependency, is the ASIN. So if the TARCOS is good at 8.9%, then I don't necessarily care so much if the ACOS is high for certain keywords, because in general the big picture is good. Then, but obviously the more dominant rule would be, okay, is our account on goal? Meaning and this is where it is so important that you define goals, because I work with 8-figure brands. They don't even have OKR trackers and goals setting for their employees, which is crazy, insane. And that's why it's so important that you have a North Star KPI, that you either have the North Star KPI of you want to grow revenue while staying in a boundary of 15% TARCOS, or maybe you have a fixed budget for the year, but these 3 have to be defined. You have a fixed budget goal, you have to have a fixed TARCOS goal, and you have to have fixed sales or like sales growth goal. Or you will say, okay, within my tacos goal, I spend infinitely as much as I want to. But long story short, that's the first thing I would look at, because obviously for these targets here, we have, low purchase share. So that's a low-hanging fruit, because we want to acquire more purchase share. Otherwise, we're not going to grow more revenue. Duh, right? So you could then also look at everything where we have purchase share less than or equal to 10% and apply the filter. Now you could also look at everything where we have a conversion rate that is worse than market, where we have sales, and where we have good ACoS depending on your definition. Obviously, I'm just giving you filters, tips to work for to grow your sales. So in Scale Insights, we would just like apply the filter. Obviously, look at everything where we have, less than, you could like obviously do 0, less than 0% conversion delta from us to the market, and then just focus on, that's a good example. Just because we are converting worse than the market doesn't mean that we're performing inefficiently, right? We have efficient performance here, 300 sales and like 8 or like 7.33% ACoS. So the next step I would look at is obviously where we had probably the lowest hanging fruit, or you put the data about what's the lowest hanging fruit, but where we had sales, but no spend, obviously, right? And especially where we're not ranking in top 5, or you could say top 3. So there, remove the filters here and say everything where we have spent less than or equal to 0. So where you have no spend, and then I would go to conversion delta where we have greater than 0, which basically means according to the Search Query Performance Report. So just where we have, basically proof of concept, meaning we're generating sales according to data from Amazon, but we're not running any ads, And then obviously I would bet the keyword is for relevancy. But yeah, you could also say I don't want to include any, keywords with search volume less than 100. But I mean, if you have, 1,000 search terms across the whole catalog with less than 100 search volume, I would still want to get, more purchase share here. So I would still focus on all of them, but you could cluster your keywords into, just like clusters of, search volume to control your bidding. But long story short, that's the next low-hanging fruit. And then the last one would be where we have sales, but like low stem and not ranking top 3. But this is just an idea. You don't have to include organic ranking. But yeah, then you would go back to Scale Insights and just say greater than or equal to. So just like spend greater than or equal to 0, obviously. Then we would go with sales less than equal 0. I mean, it's just common sense and obvious logic. It's not necessarily rocket science. But then, of course, like if you have thousands of products, tens of thousands of campaigns, and hundreds of thousands of search terms, then it becomes rocket science, But in general, that's the last cohort. So where we have low spend, you could also say where we have, impressions, relevancy, but no clicks, So yeah, that's the video for today. I just want to keep it efficient. And then in Scale Insights, you can go ahead and launch, single keyword campaigns by just clicking on the target. And, you can change your name here and say, okay, you want to launch an exact phrase and broad. I think that, if you have proof of concept for a root keyword, why would you not launch phrase campaigns to catch more, long tail keywords? And then you can obviously change your bid here according to, your cost per acquisition goals and just your metrics. So we talk about how you calculate your starting bids in another video. But yeah, that's how you basically identify your, low-hanging fruits. And then single keyword campaigns really have the benefit that you get placement data on keyword edit, which you also get here Amazon marketing stream. But without a single keyword campaign, you cannot control the bid on placement level, because if in a multi-keyword campaign, you will, number one, don't have granular data on the performance of a keyword per placement, and number two, you cannot like modify the placement per keyword. You can only be that in a single keyword campaign. So that's the benefit of single keyword campaigns. You can also, of course, be too granular, but I don't know, maybe not, So that's the video for today. See you in the next video. Bye.